So in this video I want to talk about hydration bottles. So whilst most hikers and mountaineers swear by the classic Nalgene bottle, I want to show you my quite simple setup that I developed over the last few years. So let's start with the easy one, and that's the bottle I use for most day trips, unless it's way below freezing. And that's a typical Powerade, Gatorade bottle. Here in Norway, at least, they are super light. They weigh in at 23 grams, and that's less than half of the weight of a HDPE Nalgene bottle, which is the lightest at equal volume. It should be said though that the Nalgene has even wider mouth, but this mouth is light enough for refilling in streams and also pouring your drink mix into the bottle. I think this bottle also has a quite practical size. It can fit into your bottle holder. So as an example, it just fits into this kind of pack and also into a more typical bottle holder that I use on my regular day pack. So for busy people like me, it's also super handy that you can buy them essentially everywhere in Norway, and they contain carbohydrates and electrolytes, and that's really what you need. But I also easily get a bit tired of this artificial taste. So I like to keep a couple of empty ones from previous trip and just refill them with water. So I usually carry 4 bottles, 2 fresh ones and 2 only with water. It should also be noted that I don't know whether this fits a water filter. At least here in Norway, it's not that normal to filter water coming from streams. We just drink it directly. So I'm not taking that into consideration here. It's also easily collapsible in your backpack. So that's essentially it for the kind of bottle that I prefer for my day trips. The big downside though with this kind of bottle is that it's not heat resistant. So for boiling water or hot water, that moves us over to the other type of bottle I want to show you. So for wintertime trips and camping, well, even camping in most seasons, I wanted a bottle that can hold heated or even boiling water for 3 reasons. So the first reason is to start off the trip with heated water, so it takes longer time for it to freeze during the trip. There's nothing more frustrating than to carry a block of ice during a trip. It's a waste of weight, and you also lose the ability to properly hydrate. So what I often do is to carry the bottle upside down. That way it starts to freeze up here, which doesn't matter when you drink from this side. Just ensure that your lid is closed properly. The second reason is to use the bottle as a boot heater. So I pour hot water into the bottle and I put it inside the boot, typically for ski touring boots. It always makes you more happy when you put on preheated boots, right? And the third reason is probably what you expected, and that's to use the bottle as a heating flask for your sleeping bag. I'm a super cold sleeper and I especially have super cold feet, so I like to put that in the foot end of the sleeping bag. So when I was on the search for such a bottle, I obviously looked into the Nalgene options. I just cannot stand the taste of plastics, and when you use it overnight in your sleeping bag and you drink the water the day after, it just tastes plastic. I don't like that, especially the HDPE, which is lighter, but also the more robust type from Nalgene, which I think is called Triton or something like that. It weighs more, so that wasn't for me. Then I was looking into the metal options, first steel, but it weighs too much, and then I was looking into aluminum. It's not as robust as steel, but it's lighter. On the other hand, it has some sort of coating inside, and I'm just concerned that if I get lots of dents and so on in that bottle, it might shed off some of that coating, and we know that's harmful to the body. I don't do camping that often though, so it's probably not an issue, but I just wanted to find the perfect option. So the kind of bottle that I ended up with is still within the metal realm, but it's a titanium kind of bottle, and it fulfills basically all my criteria. It weighs in at 155 grams and a volume of 800 milliliters. So this bottle is super sturdy. It has no coating inside that can shed into the water, and it has no bite taste at all. This kind of bottle, it comes from Silverant. Here we have without a sleeve. This is the one with sleeve, and that's typically the option I use during winter time. This kind of metal transfer heat really quickly, so if you have boiling water into it, then you should be really careful to touch it. I also like the fact that when I use this as a heat flask overnight, I can drink the water the day after, and it has no hint of plastic or metal or anything. They even say it's so heat resistive that you can pour water into this bottle and put it on your campfire or straight into the stove and use it as a pot. I haven't done that myself and I probably won't do that, but it's titanium and it should withstand it. The downside though is that if you use this bottle in your normal day life, it has a bit of a scratchy, squeaky sound. And it has happened to me a couple of times that if you're a little bit unconscious about how you thread the lid, you can actually accidentally lock it and you need to sort of cross-thread it. It happened to me once 20 kilometers away from the car, far into the mountains. It was cold and I just couldn't open it. So I actually used the ice pick, used that inside this handle and got some extra torque. It worked, but I was concerned about just breaking this whole mechanism. So that's something to be aware of. This bottle also comes with a plastic cap and it makes much less sound. But what you should really be aware of is this. This is not acceptable. So I reached out to Silverant, I told them about my issue and they were super helpful. They took my feedback, they said, hey, we will look into it and you can get another bottle from us if you want. So that's why I have 2 of them. I hope Silverant can fix that issue in the future. I just wanted these bottles because they are the lightest and I'm aware of that issue. I haven't checked the footprint of it. I'm sure they have a higher footprint than most plastic bottles. Then the opening of this bottle, well, it's wide enough. I think it cannot compare with a wide mouth from Nalgene. That's obviously better in that sense, but it's wide enough for filling in streams and pouring your drink mix into it and so on. I know they also sell bottles with a wider mouth. During the video editing I've done during the past few days, I've never been researching and thinking that much about this rather narrow topic. So with that, I want to give you a summary of this video and my recommendations, okay? And when it comes to camping, well, camping here in Norway can be cold in any season. I will still stick to my titanium bottle. But that's not that clear-cut as I thought when I started this video, and let me go into that. So if you want to go plastic free, then aluminum is actually not an option because most of the aluminum bottles are coated. There's not really any upside with aluminum, but it costs like a third for a comparable bottle and it has way less environmental impact. And when you compare titanium to steel, I think that's quite close call, but you get a weight penalty with steel, typically 50 to 60 grams for a 700 to 800 milliliter bottle. It also has way less environmental impact. It's also about a third of the titanium bottle when it comes to price. So I think that's it for this video. We're all here to help each other out. So if you have any comments, anything to add, please let me know in the comments below and I'll see you in the next video.